Yeah, we buy drugs and do drugs here. A lot of us don't have housing, so we don't have a choice in the matter. Welcome to the Bald Brad Show. Folks, I was perusing the interwebs and stumbled across this gem right here. Downtown is for drug users. I'm not going to be able to get through it. Pro-drug use campaign appears in San Francisco amid record overdose deaths. It's so wild. It's real. It's not satire. This is a real piece. Folks, Democrat-ran cities are a dumpster fire. They are just completely third world countries now. There's a homeless problem. There's people defecating in the streets. There's an overdose problem. People are doing drugs right out there in the open. They're swapping needles. You can get free needles in these areas. They're smashing grabs. Businesses are fleeing. I mean, you name it. It is all happening in Democrat-ran areas. And the kicker of it all, the kicker, Democrats will still vote Democrat. I know. It's insane. If you can't wrap your head around it, don't worry. Neither can I. Folks, this is the Democrats' logic. Democrats will vote Democrat. That then said politician is Democrat will destroy a Democrat city. Democrats get all in a fuss. And so they get rid of that person that they just put in for another person that's also Democrat. That's basically the same person. And where did we see this before? Where did we see this? Oh, Chicago with Mayor Lori Lightfoot. They swapped out a leftist for another leftist, expecting different results, which is the exact definition of what insanity is. It's wild. They can't fathom. They can't wrap it over their head. I know. Holy lordy. Well, flyers are promoting drug use, folks, and criticizing cops popping up in San Francisco downtown areas this week. God forbid they do their job. God forbid they take taxpayer dollars and put it to good use. It was posted by a group claiming to represent drug users. Just throw that out there. Yeah, you know. This is how far you can get in the state of California. You can publicize your criminal behavior and get away with it. A 6-person group called the Drug User Liberation Collective posted the signs in the city's Tenderloin neighborhood, which is complete dumpster fire. I mean, it is gone. It's a shell of what it used to be, which is notorious for being rife with open-air drug use, which we've covered here on the Bald Brad Show, and the politicians advocate for it, by the way. Quote, downtown is for drug users, reads one of the signs. Yeah, we buy drugs and do drugs here. A lot of us don't have housing, so we don't have a choice in the matter. You guys, I have to say it. I have to say it. This is real. This is real. Oh my God. We don't have a choice. We don't have a house, so screw it, do drugs. This is Democrat thinking for you, folks. This is the Democrat. Folks, these are the same people that voted for Joe Biden. Somehow there's just 82 million of them. I don't know. Okay. Quote, I'm going to try to get through it. I'm sorry. I'm going to try to get through it. It's hilarious. I haven't read it yet. It's very literally not hurting you, your business, or the economy, the sign continues. But it could seem like it because of all the stigma and misinformation out there. Oh, Jesus Christ. It's not hurting your business. Folks, if you have crime happening, smash and grabs left and right, like multiple times a day in, say, that CVS or that Rite Aid, which we know has happened in San Francisco, would you want to take your kids there? When you go to a place that has bars in the windows and, mustard is locked up, Mampagima or whatever the hell that syrup is called, or ice cream, coffee grinds are locked up behind glass walls and cages, is that a place you want to take your kids to go shopping? Where you have to increase your prices because nobody, one, wants to shop there, and two, you have to pay for security and insurance up the wazoo. Do you think that's a place where you want to shop? Do you think that business might be getting hurt by lack of people wanting to go in their store or their restaurant? Probably. Now let's take it to another example here. Not just there's smash and grabs, but say there's a homeless guy taking a dump right in front of the entrance of that store where you have to walk around it or piss. Is that a place that you would want to eat at? I only bring it up because I was in a Democrat-ran city and I did go on a live stream and post that very situation happening of caca right there in the middle of a restaurant, right there, right out in front. Do you think I want to eat there? No. Or piss happening. We counted at least 20 in the span of, 11 minutes of that live stream. This is happening everywhere. But don't worry, guys. It doesn't hurt your business. It doesn't hurt businesses at all, which is why businesses are fleeing Democrat-ran areas. But when you got idiots like this wanting to do drug use, you go, oh, I don't have a house, so I might as well. I kind of makes sense where they're getting this, confusion. And you gotta love that last part. Oh, there's a stigma out there. It's just a bunch of misinformation of people defecating on the streets, having a poop app, syringes everywhere, throwing hot diarrhea on pedestrians, which happened here in Southern California, not too far away from Northern California. Well, it says here, the poster also slammed Mayor London Breed by name, accusing the mayor of targeting our communities in order to build political power. The dude is on your side, you idiots. This is the guy that advocated for less policing, that they were going after you guys. He was advocating, which we covered here on the show, which I thought was so asinine, that he was advocating for your drug use. Going, hey, leave the people alone. It's discriminatory. It's racist that these cops are going after you guys, specifically in the daytime. Breed has spearheaded a crackdown on public drug use. Question. I'll put that in air quotes. And drug dealing with that has resulted in more arrests. So again, I put in air quotes because those more arrests, he ended up going and getting all upset about it because he felt like these people are being targeted. Check this out. There's no way now I'm getting through this next one without laughing. Quote, anti-drug user culture and laws equal, what is it, folks? What does it say here? White supremacy. Everything's white supremacy. Everything's racist. Just like, look at. Noting that black people die from overdoses at several times the rate of white people in San Francisco. I'm not laughing over the fact there's overdoses. It's a serious problem. It is terrible that people are dying from this. I'm laughing over the fact that all the time in politics, I'm seeing people take statistics that they don't know jack shit about and go, well, there's disparities out there between whites and blacks in terms of overdose deaths, and we're going to turn that into white supremacy. It's racist because there's a disparity. As somebody teaches statistics, this is insulting. And I constantly have to deal with it every day in politics when somebody goes, oh, the disparity, the little racism out there. Like, shut up, you dirty lib. God, you idiots. Look, could there be racism when there is a disparity? Absolutely. Very rarely nowadays is that going to be the case. And if there is racism, you sue the hell out of whoever's doing that racist stuff on you. It's a wild article. We're not even done with it yet. That campaign was created by Nova Schultz, who is referred to as they. Oh, okay. I guess it's multiple people. In an interview with the San Francisco Standard and previously used a different name. Oh, how convenient. Schultz is a self-described drug user in recovery. Okay, good. Okay, I saw drug user, self-described drug user, and I thought that was it. So thank God there was an ending there of in recovery. I wish her all the best, or they all the best. And a clinician for a downtown mental health organization. Folks, if you have a clinician that's going by the words they, them, run for your life. This is the type of person that probably is for chopping up children's genitals, okay? Castrating children. Probably like full-fledged abortion at like 9, whatever they want to call it. 9 weeks, 9 months, 9 years, hell, I don't know. Quote, our lives are inherently criminalized. Oh, it's illegal to be us. Schultz told the outlet, this is a clinician. Clinician. People who use drugs are not morally corrupt. I can't do it. I honestly, God, didn't think this article was good. Folks, I haven't had all my coffee yet. I'm not even full through a cup yet. Normally I have like 2. Oh my God. I'm so sorry. You guys are probably like, what's wrong with this guy? Folks, these people vote. These are real people out there in the healthcare field or helping people recover from drugs. Voting for Joe Biden, which makes sense on why a knucklehead could get in office, because there's 82 million people, I guess, like this across the country that think Joe Biden's a better president. It kind of makes sense now. I mean, when you have people saying outlandish stuff like this, just, our lives are criminalized. Well, yeah, you're doing criminal behavior out there in the open. You're breaking the law left and right. And just because nobody's arresting you for it, because it's a Democrat city, doesn't make it better and doesn't make you moral. It makes you immoral. But people who drugs are not morally corrupt. Kind of, yeah. I guess it depends on the type of drug, right? I guess like aspirin's a drug, but we all know what type of drugs they're taking down there, folks. Fentanyl, meth, cocaine. Well, Schultz argued that criminal activity associated with drug use is due to drugs being illegal. No shit. The further we go, the more baffling it gets. The Drug User Liberation Collective, hell of a name, wants drug laws to stop being enforced. The group also wants supervised drug use facilities and regulated safe supply of drugs. You know what? How about this? I'm a libertarian on this. Now, there's arguments for or against what I'm about to say, and we can get into that maybe in another episode if somebody wants to write in the comment section. I'll cover this, so I don't agree with this. Is legalize drug use, tax the hell out of the drugs, 90%, 85%. And then what you could have is these drug use facilities being fully paid for by the taxation that's on these drugs, and they can go do it there. But here's the kicker. They're going to complain about it. They're going to say it's discriminatory behavior. Why are those drugs being taxed at a higher rate than maybe other sin tax drugs? Or maybe other drugs like, I don't know, maybe meth is a lower tax rate than marijuana is maybe a lower tax rate than meth and cocaine. Whatever it may be, I think the harsher the drug, maybe the higher the tax rate should be. Look, if you want to destroy your life, I am not for it. I want all these people to get help. I have a heart for that. Again, I'm a Christian. I want these people to seek help. But when you come out and go, well, I just want to do drugs willy-nilly because I don't have a house. What are you doing in your life to make it better so that you could get a house? I was just having a conversation with somebody earlier, like a week or two ago. We were driving, we got off the interstate, and there's a homeless person sitting there, and just nice shoes, nicer jeans than I had on, by the way. And I said to the person, I go, like, what is that person doing? Because some of these people we know make six figures. We've covered it on the news before. We've seen them go back to their brand new trucks. I've never had a brand new car in my life. So these people are making six figures. And I said, it's kind of a shame because I want to help these people, but I don't know where the money's going. And since we live in a Democrat-ran state, odds are it's actually going to go to drug use or alcohol or something like that. I'll get them a meal. Granted, they already had like 3 boxes sitting next to them of meals, which is great that people are willing to help them. It just shows how generous Americans are. But I also said, there's all these businesses here. You have help wanted signs everywhere. Why are they not using this time that they are sitting here on the ground off a freeway to go and put in applications? Oh, Brad, well, they don't have internet. Okay, well, everybody has a cell phone. You get free cell phones. Oh, well, they don't have a cell phone. Okay, why can't you go into a local library? Oh, well, they don't have a registered home, so how are they going to get a library card? Okay, so why can't they go into a church? Oh, well, they're not a person of faith. It's always excuses as to why people can't better their lives. The thing is that they just don't want to do it. That's the God honest truth. You hear people even that are drug addicts go, you have to be committed to not wanting to do drugs. The thing is, people want to do drugs. This sounds crazy. Maybe they don't, but prove it that you don't. Easier for me to say I'm not a drug user, but everybody has their issues. Everybody has something they're going through. If you wanted to overcome it, you can overcome it. And faith helps a lot. Believing in God and Jesus helps a lot. People don't want to do it. So like I said, the person sitting on the side of the freeway could easily get up and go put in a ton of applications and go to a church and say, hey, I want to get out of this situation. I'm really serious about it. I just need a clean shower, a nice pair of clothes real quick. And could somebody drive me to a bunch of restaurants or a bunch of places to where I could put in my applications? And then I just need to save up for a bit, buy a car, live out of the car for a while, get a gym pass so you can shower at the gym for work and clean yourself up and get a good workout in. Gym passes are cheap. You get it for like $10 a month in places with the shower included. Living out of your car, you sit there, you scrounge up some money. So a certain amount of time, you have enough for a deposit, you have enough for a nice place to live, and then you could work from there to better your life. But people don't want to take those steps. It's easier to sit there and go, well, woe me, drugs this, drugs that. Let's just make them legal so I can continue to ruin my life. And let's make sure we have safe spaces where we have a nice supply of drugs right here and stuff like that. It's so wild. So wild. The San Francisco is suffering from a deadly drug crisis and saw record fatal overdoses last year. A total of 752 people died from drug overdoses in San Francisco between January and November. More deaths than in any other year. Preliminary data from the chief medical examiner's office shows. The overdose crisis is driven by fentanyl, which is a massive issue. Joe Biden doesn't want to lock up the border. This is Democrat caused. Do you see a theme here? It's all Democrats. And these idiots, I'm not kidding, we've seen it on tape. These idiots will be asked, hey, would you ever vote Republican? This was like in Portland and Seattle, Washington, which is just as bad as San Francisco. Well, no, because Republicans are going to ruin our cities. Let that sink in. Ugh. There's places, you guys, that haven't had a Republican in office for like 100 years. And these idiots are going, well, Republicans are going to ruin our city. Look around, you idiot. It's already destroyed. It's like, well, they're going to destroy my house. You already burned it down. It's ash. You couldn't even use the bathroom. It's ash. There's nothing but dirt, you idiot. What are they going to destroy? What's left? Oh, folks, I'm so sorry. Hell of a Sunday. If you're enjoying this show, hit that like button. It does support us. Share this with your friends and family all over social media, folks. And even if they're not into it, just tell them to put it on mute and just let it run. Well, here, check this out. It says the overdose crisis is driven by fentanyl, which we know is coming through the southern border, and Joe Biden doesn't want to stop it. A deadly synthetic opioid that is about 50 times more potent than heroin is inexpensive to make and easily transported. Fentanyl has been increasingly smuggled over the southern border into the U.S. by Mexican cartels, and Joe Biden doesn't want to do anything about it. Folks, Joe Biden has started a lot of jobs, according to them, 14 million or something like that. 14 trillion. Where did I get the numbers? Like Joe Biden. Folks, he started multi-businesses, multi-industry at the southern border. Sex trafficking, drug trafficking, child trafficking. I mean, you name it. Joe Biden has started multi-billion-dollar businesses. The guy is more of a businessman than actually Donald Trump is. Let that sink in. Joe Biden, a politician, never ran a business in their life. All of a sudden becomes president and starts 3 different industries at the southern border in the span of a week, basically. He's a great businessman. The problem is he just sucks at it because it's anti-American type of business of which he's running. And criminal behavior. But again, it's Democrat-ran cities that allow these criminal behaviors. And these same people that want to do criminal behavior vote for a president that also allegedly has criminal behavior, funneling money from China, Romania, and Ukraine as president of the United States, and then promotes more criminal behavior by allowing sex trafficking, drug trafficking, and, illegal immigrants pouring across the border and child trafficking, all this other stuff. Kind of makes sense now. When you really kind of just talk out loud like I'm doing here and just off the cuff, when you start connecting the puzzle pieces of criminals voting in a criminal that's allowing criminal behavior, and just the loop that it does, the loop. Oh, I mean, we can go to a local sector, right? Like Chicago. Criminals or people that love homelessness and crime and all this other stuff, they, them, and all this other stuff, vote in these politicians that also suck, that want the very same things that they do, but then those people complain about it, so they put in a new Democrat that's also allowing criminal behavior that basically expedites the criminal behavior to happen in those cities, and the people still complain about it, so then they want to put in more Democrat people because they think something's going to change because their policies just couldn't be wrong. Democrats just somehow miraculously are going to fix it, which they haven't done it in like 100 years, but somehow it's just going to change. I know. You're going, Brad, it's insane. I'm right there with you. San Francisco has poured millions of dollars into addressing addiction and overdoses, except nothing has changed. It's only gotten worse. You want to know why? It's because these politicians have their buddies, these libs elites, liberal elites, but we call them libs for short, up there at the top going, well, I'll start a nonprofit, and these nonprofits are really just going to clean up your streets, Gavin. They're gonna clean up your streets, Breed. Oh, well, let me give you millions of dollars to put in administration costs, and nothing's going to change. If anything, it's going to get worse. It's all fake. It's all corruption. It's all criminal behavior, and the Democrats are allowing it. Check this out. Addiction overdoses, including safe consumption sites in the Tenderloin neighborhood that ran for about 11 months in 2022. The site was closed amid concerns over how much it was costing taxpayers. If you want to know Democrats thinking in any city, and again, I'm saying this because I live in the state of California. I live in Southern California, which is Democrat ran, has been for a long time. Folks, they sit there with an idea That sounds good. That idea sounds good. Perfect. How is it going to be paid for? How long is it going to take to build? What's the rate of return on this bad boy? I don't know. Let's just build it. We'll find out later. You could look at the high-speed rail in California. That was like 10 years ago, I want to say. Still not done. Just gave up on it after billions spent on this thing. Well, let's build another one. You didn't even finish the one you started. Why? Because they get these ideas in their head and they don't think about it. It just sounds good to them. In the same way, like, let's just call everybody they, them. But it doesn't work with the language that we have, and it actually doesn't make grammatic sense. Well, I don't care. Let's just kind of implement it. Yeah, but if we think about the power grab that you have on language and what it's done to societies when you try to change that language and morph it into a reality that doesn't make sense and, well, isn't real, it's fantasy land, you see those countries crumble and fall apart throughout history. So maybe we should think about this before we actually start doing things like that. Oh, no, it just sounds good. No, it's the polite thing to do. It's respectful. They don't think, you guys. They don't think at all. I know you know. I know you're going, Brad, well, we know this shit. Yeah, it still needs to be said, okay? It's my therapy. I understand you guys know. But maybe, just maybe, by the grace of God, there was a lib or a dem or a lefty that kind of trickled in here. I know there's a flag on my hat. They could tell it's crooked. You guys, the Democrats are crazy. You guys are going to tell me my hat's crooked? Look, maybe by happen chance, they stumble into the show, and they're given like the same amount of fentanyl that would kill you, but the same amount of like conservative ideology, just a little bit that they need to sit there and just switch gears. I know it's a long shot. It might be a miracle, just one, and become a conservative. And then maybe they could spread it to their friends. The gospel of truth, conservatism, and maybe we can get more people to, flip on a dime, get red pilled. It's just wild, you guys. Homelessness has gotten worse in the city since before the pandemic. About 38,000 people are homeless in the Bay Area. But folks, that's up 35%. And they're also spending millions on homeless. You're spending millions on drugs. You're spending millions on crime, like meaning the taxpayers, because ultimately the insurance companies don't have the money. The insurance companies have to be bought out by the city because the city has all the money from the taxpayers. You have to pay for that. You have the homeless, the crime. I mean, everything is just the drug use. I mean, I know I'm repeating myself, but it's just money just being poured out there left and right. All the while, our roads were like some of the worst in the country. Our bridges suck. You can't even. When I was in San Diego, I'm like, why can't we just pay to have clean streets? Like, why is there not city officials down here cleaning our streets? Why does San Diego, once a beautiful area, folks? It was gorgeous. It was beautiful. It's right there on the beach. I mean, you can literally see the ocean from your hotel room in downtown San Diego. It's not far. It's like a half a mile. Feces everywhere, homeless everywhere. It's all documented. We did a live stream on it. Just head over there. It's like 12 minutes. In 12 minutes, you're going to see about 50 homeless people. You're going to see homeless people asking for money. You're going to see me almost throw up. You're going to see piss on the ground because a guy just peed on the side of a building. You see actual human waste. I'm talking about poop on the ground. I know you might not want to see it, but you know what? People need to wake up to the crap of used to be Republican, now Democrat. You see what it was and what it is. And they can't wrap their head around it, and they will still vote for Joe Biden. You guys, you need to understand that there's a possibility that Joe Biden could still win the election. Not kidding. I know it sounds crazy. Like, who the hell? Like, what? What, Brad? No, Trump's up in the polls. Don't believe in those polls one bit. One bit. Take it from 2016. Take it from 2020. Take it from a statistician. Don't believe in polls, okay? They can be manipulated. They can be proposed a question. It gives you a response bias right there. Don't believe polls one iota. We got to get out and vote in November, and that's going to be the message all year long. Get out and vote. If you got somebody that can't, pick them up and carry them to the polls. Because this is what the country's going to look like, folks. This right here. This is what the country's going to look like if we allow this to continue. Joe Biden is on the path to allow this to happen. Joe Biden wants this. What do you mean? Joe Biden's advocated for this. You can't say he hasn't. It's coming through the southern border into our cities. In the same way illegal immigrants somehow all here seeking asylum, of which most of them aren't, end up in these cities too, and then they complain about it. Joe Biden's doing the exact same thing, folks. We can't last another 4 years. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Hit that like and subscribe button. Leave us a comment down below on what you think about all this. It does support the channel, folks. You just leaving that comment, hitting that like button, trust me, It really does support the show. And if you watch it all the way through one more time, just throw it on mute. That does support the show as well. I know your time is precious, but we're trying to grow here. We're on the road to 100,000. We need your help to get conservative thought and ideas out there to new viewers, folks, especially these libs. That being said, I'll see you tomorrow here